Well, folks, the legacy media is on life support. CNN just had to dump its newest head, Chris Licht. Meanwhile, Tucker Carlson is back and better than ever on Twitter. The revolution from above, as we've said, relies on the media, but major changes are happening in the world of media. CNN cannot find its way. CNN is in serious, serious trouble. Big news in media landscape today is that Chris Licht is out. He was there for 5 seconds ago. So he was tapped to run the network by David Zaslav like 16 months ago. Licht had a reputation as a wunderkind producer, according to Puck News, who could work with elite talent. And he was aligned with John Malone's rich older guy Big Sky vision of recalibrating the network's politics to its centrist origins. But Licht's CV consisted of programming a few hours of morning or late night talk TV with 2 or 3 principals, not managing the entirety of the CNN network. So after the Trump town hall and the decimation of staff morale, Licht is now going to be vacating that CEO position. Warner Brothers Discovery is going to announce that Licht will be stepping away. He's going to be replaced for the interim period by apparently a person named Amy Entelis. Amy Entelis is, of course, yet another member of the far left. She is a producer on a wide variety of far left shows. She launched The Whole Story with Anderson Cooper, for example. She's credited with building the CNN original series brand. So presumably they're going to try to steer back to the left, but it doesn't matter. CNN is toast. CNN is toast because largely cable news is in serious trouble. And cable news is in serious trouble because younger and younger people don't even watch cable news, which is why the numbers from Tucker Carlson on Twitter are so astounding. So Tucker Carlson, in the other big media in the news of the day, he brought back a version of his show on Twitter, calling it Tucker on Twitter. It's like a 10-minute monologue, filmed direct to camera, one shot, in which he talked about the topics of the day. Here's what Tucker sounded like yesterday. The number of views is pretty insane.
Hey, it's Tucker Carlson. This morning it looks like somebody blew up the Kakhovka Dam in southern Ukraine. The rushing wall of water wiped out entire villages, destroyed a critical hydropower plant, and as of tonight puts the largest nuclear reactor in Europe in danger of melting down. So if this was intentional, it was not a military tactic, it was an act of terrorism.
Well, Tucker is back and the numbers are huge. The numbers are very large. 64.8 million views as of earlier this morning. So those are big numbers. Now, again, it's hard to measure exactly what these views look like. We've been trying to figure it out with What is a Woman as well. A view on Twitter video, very often within 14, 15 seconds, people have tuned out. But it also happens to be the case that a lot of people will tune out of network news on a nightly basis. So those are very, very large numbers for Tucker. And I would assume that as cable news continues to struggle with finding new audiences, people like Tucker are going to continue to do very well in the online space. Part of that, obviously, is also the botchery of the media. Again, the media are the promulgators of the great myths among us. They lie on a routine basis. And so that means that alternative voices are having those voices heard. It's why the numbers for this show are so large. It's why Joe Rogan's numbers are so large. It's why Tucker's numbers are so large. The positing of alternative sources of information is going to be the wave of the future. And that's why, by the way, again, thanks to Elon Musk, Twitter is a free place to be. And we need more of that in social media. I have to talk to you about Daily Wire's most trusted privacy partner and the premier sponsor of this show, ExpressVPN. Did you notice that big tech companies today are masquerading as privacy companies? Just fix those privacy settings, turn off app tracking. You're all good, right? Not really. Big tech literally feeds on your information. They sell off your data. They collect it, they sell it. This is how they make their money. To protect myself against big tech's prying eyes and the backdoor to governments that they very often provide, I use ExpressVPN. When you use the ExpressVPN app on your computer or phone, you're hiding your unique IP address. Websites can't use that address to find out your real location or track what you do online. On top of that, ExpressVPN encrypts and reroutes 100% of your online activity so your internet provider, Wi-Fi admin, and hackers can't see it. The best part is how easy it is to use. It takes just one click to protect all of your devices. One ExpressVPN subscription covers up to 5 devices at the same time, so you can protect your entire family as well. So, today's the day. Get the VPN I trust to protect my own online privacy when big tech is knocking at my door. Visit expressvpn.com/Ben today. That's EXPRESS VPN.com/Ben. My listeners will get an extra 3 months for free. expressvpn.com/Ben. In a world filled with uncertainties, it is crucial to be ready for whatever comes your way, whether we're talking about a natural disaster or a sudden emergency like a hurricane, unforeseen circumstances. It's just good to have a reliable food storage system on hand. Right now, My Patriot Supply is knocking $200 off their popular 3-month energy food kit to help you start growing your supply. Go to preparewithben.com. Grab the special price before it ends. Your 3-month emergency food kit provides over 2,000 calories every day for optimal strength and energy in stressful situations. The nice thing about this, you buy it, you put it in your closet, you forget about it, and then when an emergency strikes, you're ready. Enjoy a wide variety of My Patriot Supply food, from buttermilk pancakes and chicken Alfredo to rice pudding. Their meals have you covered for every part of the day. My staff have tried it. The meals are really, really good, apparently. Don't wait for disaster to strike before taking action. Invest in your safety and well-being by securing that food storage today. Go to preparewithben.com. Save $200 on each kit your family actually needs. Go to preparewithben.com right now. That is preparewithben.com. It's just a smart thing to be ready in case of emergency. Preparewithben.com to make it happen. It's not going to cost you a fortune. Go check them out. Preparewithben.com. Save $200 on each kit that your family needs today. And meanwhile, in the presidential race, we are seeing some movement in the polls. There's a brand new poll out from Iowa. Now, remember, all of the national polling is going to favor Donald Trump for the foreseeable future because, of course, Donald Trump is the most famous person in the race. He is the ex-president of the United States and maybe the most famous person on planet Earth at this point. However, the state-level polls are going to be the polls that actually tell the tale. And so I'm looking right now at the latest polls from Iowa. And what you see is that in Iowa, the gap is now being closed pretty significantly by DeSantis. So there is a breaking poll out of Iowa that shows DeSantis closing the gap by 14 percentage points. A new Never Back Down PAC survey shared with Axios has DeSantis closing the gap. In mid-May, before DeSantis officially announced, he earned a 24% number in Iowa compared to Trump's 48%. That's 24-point gap. A few weeks later, after launching his campaign May 24th, the Florida governor is up to 29% among likely Iowa caucus goers against Trump's 39%. And that's after being in the race for like 5 minutes. That is a pretty significant closing gap right there. There is a poll out of Virginia, and that poll also shows Trump up, but he's up 48-28. Meanwhile, you have Pence earning 7, Haley earning 7. You know, there are a bunch of other candidates in that race. When it comes down to a two-person race, this looks very, very competitive suddenly. So sort of fascinating to watch as the race starts to close up just a little bit. Would not be surprised if it closes significantly further because, again, we're very in the very early days. Meanwhile, Chris Christie is out there being very aggressive with Trump, which will last precisely as long as Chris Christie thinks that Trump will not pick him for a running mate. And Trump himself is very happy with Christie being in the race. He basically said, good luck, Chris. The thing about Trump that everybody loves, and I admit I enjoy it as well, is that Trump is entirely transparent. Like, it's not like he's hiding the ball. He is openly rooting for candidates who are not DeSantis. Tim Scott enters. He's like, congratulations to Tim and welcome to the race. Christie enters, and he's like, Chris Christie will eat Ron DeSantis' lunch. That's literally what he put out. He put out a Truth Social saying that Christie is going to eat Ron DeSantis' lunch. Left unspoken is the fact that Chris Christie will eat everyone's lunch. In fact, any lunch, anywhere, is subject to the gravitational pull of Chris Christie. Christie is going hard at Trump right now, but Trump doesn't care because he knows that he can't do him any damage. After all, Trump is the person who is bossing Chris Christie around and telling him to get back on the plane 5 minutes ago. Meanwhile, the CNN anchors are going after Ron DeSantis with alacrity. What is their latest bombshell report? Their latest bombshell report is that apparently Ron DeSantis once had dinner with Clarence Thomas. I know, shocking news from CNN. Here is a little bit of their report.
Because I do think he is our greatest living justice. Thank you.
And after that speech, DeSantis, Thomas, and Leo all went out to dinner. CNN senior Supreme Court analyst Joan Biskupic has much more on this. I'm sorry, Joan. What do you see in this, Kate. Joan?
Yeah, morning, Kate. Didn't you like that big bear hug at the end there? That event was, part of the roots of this very tight relationship between Ron DeSantis, Leonard Leo, and Clarence Thomas. All have many things in common, and they all focus on the judiciary. And Ron DeSantis, now as a candidate, is taking a page from the Donald Trump playbook and running on the Supreme Court. And he's doing it in part by holding up Clarence Thomas as a model.
Oh, wow. That's shocking news there from CNN. You mean Republicans like Clarence Thomas? Wow. In other news, Rosie O'Donnell not straight. Breaking news, guys. Alrighty, guys, the rest of the show continues right now. You're not going to want to miss it. We'll be joined online by presidential candidate Nikki Haley. If you're not a member, become a member. Use code Shapiro at checkout for 2 months free on all annual plans. Click the link in the description and join us.